I wanted to let you all know about my new program called Seeds to Solvency. This is an online herb growing and medicine making program. The great thing about this program right now for COVID, we are doing a sliding scale. This means you pay what you can for the program. So if you make a lot of money, you can pay the full amount. If you don't make much, you pay a way lower amount. Check out all the details on my website, maryblueherbalist.com.
Hey everybody, it's Mary Blue here on my farm in West Greenwich, Rhode Island with my puppy Ollie and my son Herbie who's filming. I wanted to show you all what's coming up in my field. I'm going to be talking about herbal actions. All of the herbal actions are listed in my Herbal Foundations book, which is for sale on my website. Wanted to let you all know I'm also doing 50% on my 6-month online program right now. There's a link in the bio, so check that out. So let's take a look at what's growing on the farm. The first thing we have is a perennial beds. These are 5 beds of echinacea. Now, perennial means it's a plant that comes back every single year unless you harvest it for medicine. We do harvest a lot of echinacea. One, we've been using it in our Throat Ease throat spray because it's a great anti-inflammatory. It reduces pain, especially with a sore throat or upper respiratory inflammation. It's also really great for upper respiratory because it is antimicrobial. That means when it touches the tissue, it'll help kill any kind of bacteria or pathogens that could potentially be harboring there. The other thing I use echinacea for a lot, and that's why I love it as a throat spray this time of year, is because it's an immune stimulant. So that means it stimulates the white blood cells, the T fighter cells that surround pathogens, bacteria, and viruses, eat them up and get rid of them out of the body. So echinacea is like one of our top herbs for right now for keeping our bodies healthy. Because it is an immune stimulator, lots of herbalists, including myself, recommend that you don't take it long term. So this is something that you'd want to take if you're feeling a tickle coming on or you have a cough. I've been using a spray if I have to go out in public, if I have to go to the grocery store. Quick spray before I go in and get out. Make sure if I breathe anything in, the echinacea will help support the body's process of getting rid of pathogens. It doesn't treat disease, because I'm not a doctor, I don't treat any disease, but it does help the body fight any kind of pathogens, and it reduces inflammation. So echinacea is great. We'll harvest this one in the fall. And we'll use 50% water and 50% alcohol to extract the constituents. Here we have one of our other superstars right now. We have mullein. Look at this beautiful mullein. Mullein is known as an expectorant. Not all expectorants actually act like expectorants, meaning they expel mucus, but mullein is one of the ones. I want to see if you can look at these cute little hairs on here. So all of these hairs actually help the lungs get rid of excess mucus. Mullein also has sugars called glycosides in it, which help the body, help the lungs specifically, stop spasming. So it helps with coughs. It's a wonderful, wonderful pulmonary lung support herb. So this is what we call a tonic. This is one that you can take every single day to support lung health. So honestly, I'm drinking this every single day. We can't get enough of this in the shop. Everybody's trying to get it. One thing I keep hearing people say is, oh, this is going to be a great toilet paper, which those little hairs are really, really, really irritating. You definitely don't want to use this as toilet paper. I can already feel it sort of irritating on my fingers as I'm touching it. If you want a really good rash on your privates, use mullein as toilet paper. Our beds. But right here we have some really nice yarrow. Oh, I can smell this already as I sit down. Those oils from the plants, I can smell them and they just smell so wonderful. They open up the respiratory tract immediately. So yarrow is one of our best first aid herbs. It's known as a styptic, and a styptic means that it stops bleeding. It coagulates blood cells and stops the bleeding. It's kind of amazing. I've used it mostly on myself or on animals, but it works amazingly. Usually you can either chew it up and put it right on the wound, Yarrow is also another one great for right now, and we're using it a lot now because it reduces fever. It helps induce sweating and brings down a fever. There's so many wonderful uses for yarrow as a styptic, as an anti-inflammatory, as a febrifuge. Febrifuge means that it brings down those fevers. All right. This one's really cool. This one's called horseradish. And this is our main ingredient in fire cider. We dig up the roots and we use the root. And the root is what's known as an anti-catarrhal. Anti-catarrhals means that it breaks up mucus. Mucus is actually a really good thing for the body. It's a natural process. It lubricates. But when the body's trying to get rid of something, it surrounds it with mucus. So what horseradish does is it heats up the tissue and liquefies it. It causes more fluids and makes it so your nose runs and your eyes water. Have you ever had wasabi? This is the main ingredient in it. There's a couple right here in this area. We have our catnip, which is also another great febrifuge. This reduces fevers, but this is also a wonderful nervine. And nervines are herbs that affect the nervous system. So if you had coffee today, you've had a nervine. If you've had chamomile today, you've had a nervine. So nervines have a range of effects on the nervous system. Some of them are stimulating, some of them are calming. But nervines also affect the digestive system. And catnip is a really great nervine for kids or folks who are stressed out, reducing stress and aiding digestion. And here we have teasel.
Teasel root is best known for its support of the body when someone's dealing with Lyme's disease, especially the Lyme that affects joints, where the spirochetes burrow into the tissue in the joints. It's used as a general anti-inflammatory, pain relief, but it is supportive of healthy bacteria growth in those tissues, making it not a great place for those little spirochetes to grow. People also have used it for digestive health, stimulating the nervous system, and it is widely used in conjunction with antibiotics. Since I'm not a doctor, I can't prescribe it, but teasel is definitely used a lot to support the body when it's healing Lyme's disease.
And check out this beautiful valerian.
Valerian root is one of our strongest herbal sedatives that is available without a prescription. We use the roots. I harvest them generally either in the spring or the fall. They have a very strong odor, and that odor indicates that it has volatile oils in it. Those volatile oils are very calming and sedating, but they're also really great for the digestion. They expel gas. They help get rid of any kind of digestive nervousness, similar to the catnip, but much, much stronger. I use valerian generally for sleeplessness or restless leg or high anxiety. It has a very strong taste, so I generally use it either in a tincture or a glycerin.
And this is our raspberry leaf patch.
Raspberry leaf is known as a uterine tonic. This means that if it's drank as a tea every single day, it will strengthen the whole reproductive system, specifically the uterus. It will also help to balance hormones. So tonics are herbs that are safe to be taken every day and actually need to be taken every day to be effective. Raspberry is one of our top reproductive tonics. Raspberry is also high in tannins, so it's great, makes a great digestive anti-inflammatory. The berry itself is also high in flavonoids and really great for the digestive system and the whole cardiovascular system.
And here we have the wonderfully aromatic aniseed.
So I've mentioned these volatile oils a few times during this plant walk. This is a constituent that you want to know and want to become familiar with. Volatile oils are generally going to be anti-inflammatory, and it is definitely the case with aniseed that these volatile oils are anti-inflammatory, specifically for upper respiratory tract and digestion. These oils are also known as carminatives, which mean they expel gas and bloating. So they aid digestion and relieve any kind of pain or discomfort related to bloating. Aniseed is one of our top aromatic herbs because of the smell. It tastes so good. It's very similar to licorice, but a little bit different. And it is used widely for coughs and also digestive aids.
And here I have a really nice cover crop of alfalfa.
I use alfalfa as a cover crop because it is from the pea family and it helps bring up nutrients from really deep depths of the soil and makes them available to other plants. But I also harvest it as a therapeutic medicinal herb. Alfalfa is known as the grandfather of all plants, meaning that it has every single known vitamin and mineral in the plant. Because its roots go down so far deep, it can get all of these wonderful nutrients that become available to us when we take the herb, when we eat the herb, when we drink the herb in a tea form or an infusion form. So I love alfalfa for building tissue, for building up any kind of muscles or joints or ligaments. It's a wonderful, what we call tonic. So it's like a multivitamin. You need to drink it every single day for it actually to have a good effect.
Here we have Coltsfoot, which is Tussilago farfara, another lung support herb.
Now they call coltsfoot meaning horse's foot because the shape of the leaf looks like a hoof. They also call it sun before father, meaning that the flower blooms before the leaf comes out. Coltsfoot traditionally has been used for lung support, lung inflammation, coughs, colds, pneumonia, those kinds of things. We don't treat disease with herbs generally because we're not doctors, but we can use it to support the health of the tissue of the lungs if the body's dealing with something that is affecting the lungs. Coltsfoot does have a constituent in it called an alkaloid that in large doses and taken over long periods of time can be damaging. It's that same constituent that's in comfrey root, the pyridoxylene alkaloid. So that's just something to be aware of. If someone has liver damage, you wouldn't want to do coltsfoot in large amounts every single day.
And here we have black cohosh. Come take a quick look at this up close.
I use the root of the black cohosh for hormone balance in women. You can use it at any phase of a woman's life. You can use it for PMS. You can use it for heavy bleeding or cramping. It is best known for its effects on the woman's reproductive system during menopause, helping the body process estrogen more efficiently, but also helping with hot flashes and any other symptoms that are associated with menopause.
And here we have the beautiful, famous elderberry. This is an elderberry. This is probably about 4 or 5 years old. And if you come look up close, you can see the shoots coming out. I use the elder flower and the elderberry.
The elderflower is known to be more of a febrifuge, which means it lowers fevers through inducing sweating. It is also known as a great antiviral. The elderberries are what's known as an immune modulator. This means if you take it every single day, it strengthens the immune system and helps prevent illness. There are some folks who do take elderberry only when they are feeling sick, and it does have mild effects on the immune system, but it's best used every single day to prevent illness.
And here we have a viburnum. This is actually cramp bark, also known as high bush cranberry. Puts out little berries, but I use the bark as a really nice antispasmodic. So we use it a lot for menstrual cramp or muscle cramps. And welcome to my greenhouse. This is where I start all my little baby plants. We have lemon balm, astragalus, feverfew, lots of calendula. We have clary sage, St. John's wort, elecampane, elder. We have lots of little baby tulsis coming up, spilanthes. And over here is my big, beautiful rosemary bush. And over here I am starting some new garden beds. So if you take a look, I have these big tarps down, and the reason I have the big tarps down is because I'm working to kill the grass before I plant a cover crop, and then I'll till it in, and then I'll plant directly into that ground because we are expanding our growing this year. And I want to show you our barn. This is where I keep all the herbs stored, where we process all the herbs, and where we keep all of our harvest baskets. We've got a lot of baskets. And here is my processing table. So I take all of the herbs when they come out of the drying room, and they go right on top of here, and this is the screen here. We rub the herbs on the screen, and then we have a catchment system underneath which catches the leaves but not the stems. Because we're doing everything by hand, there a few stems do go in some of our herbs, but that's okay. And here's where we store all of our 1 ounce, 4 ounce, and 8 ounce bottles for all of our products. Into my drying room. Right now we're not set up for drying because it's winter and we use this for storage, but if you go over here you can see all of these beautiful racks that we use to take our herbs when they come out of the field, and they go on every single one of these racks. They get dried here, then they go into paper bags and they get stored until we're ready to process them. And I wanted to show you our outdoor classroom. This is where we do a lot of our programs outside. We have this large table, lots of seating, and we set up our cooking station so we can do herb demos out here.
I mentioned in the beginning of the video that I'm offering 50% off of my Herbal Foundations online program that's starting May 11th. For the folks who made it through this video, I'm also offering another $100 off. That's 60% off of my Herbal Foundations online program for this weekend only. We're working to make herbalism way more accessible during these kind of wild healthcare times. And I really appreciate you all watching my video, and I hope you all have a great weekend.